Hello friends, my name is Vidar Gupta and today in this activity there are some topics and in those topics I am going to oppose reservation. So if I talk about reservation, so reservation means to reserve something, okay. Same case in big examinations, you must have seen that there are so many castes, okay, and according to those castes the seats are reserved. Suppose the paper is of 100 marks, okay, and I belongs from general caste, okay, and I got suppose 70 marks in that examination, then I will not be able to qualify that examination, okay. And suppose somebody who belongs from belongs to middle class and he got 70 marks, then he will be able to qualify the exam. But if the person who belongs to middle class and if he got 50 marks, then he will not be able to qualify the examination, okay. And a person who belongs to lower caste, if he got 50 marks, then he will be able to qualify examination, okay. So it is the basic meaning of reservation. And if I talk about the main reason why do I want to hate or why do I want to avoid reservation, is that according to me it is a kind of discrimination on general caste people. According to some people, earlier discrimination, humiliation used to take place with lower caste people even, but according to me now what the need to take revenge. So that is why according to me reservation is an abominable thing.
Sir, I want to say something. Firstly, I am favoring child labor, that it should be removed first, okay. The reasons are in child labor below 14, okay. If any child is doing physical work like he is working in hotel like a labor, he is working in shop and he is going to clean someone's home, so that is called child labor. And because of child labor, we consider the education of the child is at stake, because suppose there is a child and he goes to work and after that he comes to his home and he will do education, he will learn something, okay. He can have problems because after doing work he can be tired and then he will sleep, okay. And child labor is banned from Indian government, but still in many places, even in civilized places, you can see child labor like Delhi, okay. And many kidnappers are there who just kidnap the child, or we can say abduct the child, okay. And after that they send him or her to the shops to work, okay. We can, in simple language, we can say that they sell her or him. And I want to say, because of child labor, many children are committed suicide, okay. And now he wants to speak something.
Okay, so Mr. Van, I have a question to you. Don't you think that if a child will not do child labor, then what about the financial status of that child? How will that child able to earn money?
He will answer your question later, but he will keep it in mind by the time I want to take the opinion of these people, please.
Hello everyone, this is Anil Yadav in front of you. Today I have gotten golden opportunity to discuss or to just elaborate my concerns or thought process over these specific topics which are written over the board. The first topic is reservation, the second one is dowry system and child labor, and so on the FDI. I would like to just, my concern will be there that there must be the very attentive advocacy of the government of India to just remove the FDI from the government, like from the domestic territory of India itself, because we are just facing a lot of economic growth and economic developmental issues. And on the other hand, I would like to favor the reservation, because reservation must definitely be perpetuated for the upcoming generation, because it will definitely boost up the potential of the upcoming generation in all kind of capacities, whether political, economic or educational capacity. That's all I want to say.
Okay, I have a question from you, Mr. Anil. As you said that reservation is good, okay, but I want to raise a question that FDI is also good. Because of FDI, many people are there which are running their business.
Not which, who?
Who are running their business or who are doing job. For example, suppose any foreign company comes to India to invest its money, okay, and suppose that company got success, and after that many branches will be there in India or in a particular country, then we can see that unemployment rates will be decreased, because in India too much of unemployment is there because of population.
Okay, I would like to say one thing. I would like to answer of your question, which is really very not potential one, because as per the constitutional programs or the constitutional machineries which are around us, okay, they are always alternatively claiming this thing that FDI must be reduced, because by the FDI, because our Mr. Modi, the regiment of BJP government is focusing on the indigenous industries. Example for the self-reliant India. So in the self-reliant India, we are just focusing on the MSMEs, okay. It means the medium industries in the houses and cottage industries, because it was the concept of Gandhiji also just to promote the cottage industry in the village areas, by which the people of the village industries or that town areas can definitely boost the economic status, by which they will be equally reaping the benefits of all kind of essential commodities by which they are being in which they are depriving right now. For example, if I just talk about and in a banking
They
sector
are depriving or they are deprived?
they are deprived of.
Okay.
They are deprived of, and so that's why cottage industry or indigenous industry is being promoted by the government. FDI, there is a one catch in FDI. Suppose that if any foreign country or external like company comes to India in terms of investment in the political territory of India, because we have the specific two categories, like two territories, economic territories or the political territories. If any FDI comes from the external states, so it means it is coming in a political territory of India. So whenever it is coming and establishing a business and hiring the labor industries from its territory only, do you know, after getting the huge profit and after facing the red tapeism, in which the company is entitled to just shift their profits to the different nations, because they want to avoid, like they want to evade the taxes, which government of India does not want, that they must be the tax evader. For example, like Vijay Mallya. Okay, for example, if I just talk about Sahara Vistara. Okay, these are the like different FDIs in the different establishment of the government of India itself.
Okay, now
Okay, so do you think that when the FDI other company will come in India, so definitely our India's economy will be boosted up, and they will also invest a lot of money in India, and Indian people will also take the employment in our India, and it will be a very beneficial growth for our GDP.
In like you are saying right thing, like on the HUD statement, but I'm just whatever I'm saying, it is a formal statement by the government of his government ministries. Do you know, I would like to draw your attention. First of all, think about this, about my statement. We have the two concepts in economy. Okay, first of all, the economic growth and economic development, both are contrasting to each other. They both do not have the complementary base pairing like DNA and RNA. Okay, so in that thing, economic growth we have a lot, because we are the natural resource, we are rich naturally in the resource rich region, because we are residing in the South Asian region. So South Asian region is a one kind of prime hub or the prime subcontinent in which the India is residing, in which the China is also approaching, Japan is also approaching, US is also approaching, because we are really very rich. So our government concern is that if we have all kind of raw materials in our surrounding, why must we should not utilize by our own potential, like other countries are doing by grabbing from these kind of different like countries. For example, South Africa. In South Africa, at the time of independence, there was a huge scramble which took place. Okay, in that scramble, so many different kind of nations were rushing towards the South Africa just to loot the resources, because those nations who rushed towards South Africa, they were really very poor in terms of resources. But India was one of them who really did not rush towards South Africa, because it was very rich in itself. So that's why this kind of potential must be utilized by our government, by which we will not be dependent on different economies. For example, USA, Russia, and Japan itself. Nowadays, if I just talk about defense technology is also being boosted up right now in a very huge manner, and for this we are just having so many different kind of sophisticated devices by which we can say this thing that we are really highly modernized. So it can be possible by the dependency on our resources, not on others' resources.
So we
He
have
will
to work
definitely
on
reply, but I'll let him first speak
An
about this
introduction.
topic, right? Yes, please. But keep it in mind, yeah, store it. Yes, please, Mr. Yash Smith.
Good evening everyone, my name is Jasmith Singh and today I am here to speak in the favor of why dowry system should be removed from the government, domestic system of our country. In comparison to the topics reservation, child labor and FDI. So I will speak in I will tell what is the dowry system. Dowry system is a system in which a bride family gives gifts to groom families because of they think that their daughter should be
Strong.
and given gifts should be given to maintain their well-being,
Yes.
and they should not be exploited. So because of this, they think that giving gifts and a dowry will help their daughter in making hierarchy in their house. Because in ancient India, the people think that people thought that the higher the dowry is, the higher the hierarchy of the woman is, which is coming to the house.
Okay, so can I ask a question?
Yes.
So what is your name, Mr. Yasmin? So I have a question to you. Don't you think that it will be very difficult to remove dowry system, because totally it is in the hand of people, and if somebody is demanding for dowry, then according to you, what is the way? How can government remove this?
Firstly,
And I also want to add on this question. First of all, you are confused like a little bit. I think you are talking about the status of the women who are coming in the different like a groom's family. For example, if any kind of a specific marriage is concerned, okay, Pratiloma, Anuloma marriage. There are the two categories of marriage, Pratiloma, Anuloma. Okay, if these two marriages are happening in a particular society, so the status of the women is concerned over these kind of a base, because it is the edification which is taking place. And I would like to ask one question. Do you know about this about two concepts of about dowry system or Stri Dhan, because both are the different concepts. You are talking about that for the life sustenance for the women who's coming from the different families and going to the different family, it will be capable enough to just sustain her life for the upcoming period. Okay, upcoming like a little bit like some uncountable periods. Okay, for example 6 years or 7 years, whatever her father
unpredictable
unpredictable periods. Okay, she must be sustaining her life on those kind of resources or essential commodities which have been given by her father and mother itself. So dowry system are you favoring or Stri Dhan you are favoring? I want to know from you, because Stri Dhan is a legal thing. Okay, like dowry system is completely legal.
I am favoring dowry system.
You are favoring dowry system, that it must not be.
It must be removed.
It must be removed. Okay. So you are completely favoring Stri Dhan. Stri Dhan must be given to the females. Okay, whenever they are getting married, to sustain their life itself.
No, if dowry system is removed, those Stri Dhan.
Should I define what is Stri Dhan?
Yes, please.
Okay, Stri Dhan is that thing. Suppose that if any girl or like a girl is getting married to the different family individuals, okay, that girl is entitled to just take some kind of essential commodities by which she can sustain her life for upcoming 5 years or 6 years. Like she must be having a little bit gold also. She must be having some kind of a little bit things to eat even. Okay, by which she must not be compromising with her in-laws, because she will be the strange person in that new family. So she must be feeling hesitation to ask this for different new things. So that's why her parents allowed her to just take some kind of a things. But the dowry system is completely very different, because dowry system right now has been commercialized. Okay, it has been just misused, or it is one kind of a negative prop which is being used by the
We are not supposed to agree.
groom's family itself.
Okay, Mr. Anil Yadav, I have a question
No
to you.
point
As you are talking about
understanding.
Stri Dhan, in Stri Dhan the girl will get the things from her parents.
Yes. But for Stri Dhan, it will be for only that girl only for that girl. Not if you are just giving her like LED and TV and car and all. So she must not be carrying on her head that, because these things must be used by their family in-laws.
Yeah, I have a question from all of you. Mr. Anil, you are favoring, what are you favoring?
I'm not favoring, yes.
FDI, yeah?
FDI, yes.
So
We are
FDI
against FDI.
which
Yes.
you are favoring in topic, okay? So as we know that FDI is very good, because if foreign companies will come in India, so most of the people or many people are getting advantage of it. Like as you gave the example of different countries, okay? Like Japan. From Japan, many companies are coming like Toyota, Panasonic. So those are very helpful for us.
Yeah.
Okay, they are very trusted brand, and how can we remove them?
Okay, let me answer.
I will also like to add.
Yes,
please
yes.
add. Yes.
I would like to say that in FDI, because of the FDI, we also get that technologies from different countries, which also help in development of our country, and it also help our relations with other countries, and it also give us different currencies, foreign currencies. So it is also very
And
necessary for our
And it will also
development of
benefit
our
I
country.
have one more question, okay? Suppose we remove FDI from Japan, okay? And from Japan, our companies are also going to Japan, like many companies are there of India, like cars, mobile phones. So Japan will also stop the FDI of India. So we can see that the disadvantage will be there.
Now he will reply all of you.
Yes. Yes, you all asked a very good question, so I will definitely praise your questions, okay, because these are the very potential and substantive questions. And let me make you understand, first of all, the policy in which I am favoring that FDI must be removed. Okay, it must be removed in the relative concept, okay, in the relative capacity, not in the absolute manner itself. Suppose that if we are just talking about the international ties and the ratifications of this so many different kind of treaties or the signature treaties, okay, whether hyphenation, dehyphenations, okay, these are the treaties which are being signed by the international platforms by the different external states or non-state actors also, for example China and Japan itself. And one thing I would like to ask, one thing, suppose that if any FDI is coming in our particular territory, in the economic territory of India or the political territory per se, so it is really giving the really highest impetus to the different formal or informal sectors, because it is increasing the job opportunities for those kind of people who are really deprived of the job opportunities by the government itself, and by the state government itself, by the private industries also itself. Because in the private industries we are having so many kind of loopholes in which the people are really seeking for the creamy layer concept, creamy layer people, because if they are really highest cream in the market, so they will be definitely absorbed by the company. But the informal sectors people will be looking forward to those kind of job opportunities in which they are just going to have like score or going to earn only 500 rupees or 200 rupees per month as per their caliber, because they have to do really labor there, okay, they do not have to do work mentally. And one thing I would like to Government of India is claiming this thing that we are just removing the stakes in the FDI. We are completely not removing this thing. Okay, we are just reducing or decreasing the stakes of the government. For example, if I just talk about, there are privatization in the railway system, there's a privatization in the airlines also, defense also. So what is happening here? Company like Indian government is focusing on indigenous industries. If there will be the potential in the indigenous industries, that it will definitely flourish or it will definitely blossom in its own capacity. It must not wait for those kind of things which are coming in a very open category, and we are going to assemble these things in our particular territory, because those things, the product which are coming in an open category, they are assembled in our particular territory. So do you know the credit is gone to those countries from where the open category products are coming. And that's it. One thing I would like to also think, and I would like to ask one thing from you. Do you all know that India is really having the highest economic growth, but not highest economic development? So why? What is the reason in that?
Because there is also one thing, that brain drain. One thing that you have already told, that the person who is creamy and very talented in our India, and they are also going in other countries. And you told that the company will be hired to the creamy people in our
louder, please.
The company will be hire the creamy people from our India. When the other company will come in our India, so definitely they will adapt. But this case is also seen that brain drain is also happening, that the people who are very skilled, they are also going to other countries.
Do you know, day before yesterday, I went through the news.
You can tell it later. Yeah, let some more points come.
That you also that the government is reducing the stakes in FDI. So I would like to say, firstly, you tell me that you agree with my statement or not, upcoming statement.
Yes.
That FDI increases the quantity of the product.
Yes.
So I would like to say that if they are reducing stakes in the FDI, so the quality of the product can be questionable.
But it is not reducing the stakes in those companies in which they are really getting the quality and a profit. Okay, they are not going to remove the stakes. For example, if I just talk about the stakeholders are being reduced in those companies where the companies are becoming the tax evader. Okay, there is a one concept, base erosion and profit shifting. Do you know about this thing? Okay, base erosion and profit shifting is a concept which foreign companies are applying if they are really highly benefited in Indian territory. So do you know, they do not want to pay the tax to the government of India. In that case, they are really just shifting their base to the different nations, because our company does not belong to the establishment of Indian territory or political or economic territory. Rather than we belong to the different territory. So in that case, India can't do anything because there is no legal sanction of the Constitution of India itself. That's why government of India is there. That's why privatization is there. So suppose that for example, there's 100% stakeholders are there in a particular company. Okay, in a particular government entities. Okay, for brownfield assets, you know about brownfield assets and greenfield assets. Okay, brownfield assets are those assets in which the company which is completely existing itself in India, which is really giving the highest remuneration to the government of India. Okay, and the greenfield assets are those assets which are completely blank, in which the government of India is thinking that we should give this kind of particular land or the assets to the particular private company which are of the indigenous own, and it will definitely reap the benefits, and definitely it will transact to the our fund, which is really happening. For example, if we just talk about railway station of Habibganj in Madhya Pradesh, okay, it has been highly privatized by the government of India, and it is giving very highest remuneration of India. Do you know, I do not call the statistic which has been added in the GDP of India itself, because privatization, by the reducing stakes of the government in those brownfield assets, will help the indigenous industries to boost the economic growth as well as the developmental activities, by which we will be able to distribute the subsidiary principles to those kind of vulnerable sections in the society who have been deprived since ages.
Okay, so I have a question to you, Mr. Anil. So as you are claiming that because of reservation, the people who belongs to lower caste, their confidence is being boosted in every field, okay? But don't you think that they are even misusing reservation, and it is a kind of discrimination that is happening on general caste people?
He also wanted to say.
And sir, I want to say that if you provide the reservation in ST and tribes caste, then I think sir, very limited pupils use and benefit that reservation. Because sir, when I saw my village, an ST caste, there is no knowledge about, they did not provide her children to schools and education. And sir, because I think sir, a very limited amount of ST caste take benefits of their reservation.
Now,
And he also
I
has
have a
to
question.
say,
But
yeah.
they are misusing
I have a
it.
question from you, Mr. Lalit. As you said, it's very limited people take the advantage, okay? But they take. for limited people it is very useful. And if I talk about child labor, so it is very harmful for in all conditions.
Yes,
Because
Yes, I want to speak. I am in also favor in child labor. Child labor should be removed because every children has a equal right to grow their life and to nurture within the education. And I am also not. I am against in reservation because a lot of people they have not the proper sources to get the higher education. They don't have the proper resource to gain the higher education. That's why reservation should not be removed.
and
I
also
That's your favoring from us.
I also
Okay,
want
so Mr. Prem, I have a question to you as you are saying that they are not able to get that much of good education, okay? So how can you say that there are so many people they belong from lower caste,
They
but
belong to.
they belong to lower caste, okay? But still they are very rich, okay? As you are saying, Mr. Ryan, for some people it is very beneficial. So now tell me how is it beneficial for those some people?
Okay, now, firstly, listen. What are you asking? How did? Yeah, I understood. For some people are there who are really poor and they are also SCS. They also belong to SCST caste. Okay, and for them it is very useful because they have limited money or we can say limited resources to buy the books.
It is a kind of
for them.
Okay, I want to ask one question from you all. Okay, I think Mr. Lalit and Mr. Vidit and Dihan, okay, and Mr. You also. Who is your favorite? So I will not ask the question from you, but I will ask the people like you. Okay, I would like to ask you first of all from you, Mr. Lalit. You were saying this thing. There are certain categories in the ST and ST categories itself who are really not who are not really cornering the benefits of reservation itself. So do you have any alternative option for them to just corner the benefits of reservation?
Yes, sir. Sir, I have an opinion or can advice for the government and we reduce the reservation. And sir, those people are really poor. Then we provide the
Should
we provide the free education? We provide the books rather than they are providing the reservation.
Okay.
Because if we provide the books and we provide the education, then he really do hard work and sir he grow up. And if we provide the reservation, then he सर वो क्या कहते हैं आदत हो जाना
they will be addicted to it.
they will be addicted on the reservation and
Yes.
he did not that compare and we can say that compared with the upper caste pupils because they really do hard work.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Lalit, I would like to counter your
Mr. Yashmin,
statement.
Yashmin,
Mr.
yes.
Yashmin, you want to say something?
Yes.
I would like to contradict your statement
Yes, I would like to.
that providing books and education schools, providing books and seats in schools is very difficult for government because majority of the India is below poverty line or around poverty line.
It is in BPL category.
And for them child
No,
labor is
Bhavani,
very bad.
Yes.
Okay,
I will continue.
you were first to ask
I will
the
continue my point.
So I think sir Modi government is also provided the government schools books and free school college. But I think sir government should focus on good quality teacher in government schools.
Okay, I would like to ask Mr. Lalit from you.
Okay.
Mr. Lalit is claiming this thing. Mr. Lalit is claiming this thing that there are certain categories in the minority groups like SCs and STs who certain categories are reaping the benefits. Okay, utilizing the benefit of the reservation, but certain categories are not. Okay, that's the point. So do you think so? Certain categories who are reaping the benefits or cornering the benefits of reservation, they know about how to utilize the reservation benefit. But what about those communities? For them, the reservation has been meant for in actual sense. You should talk about practical. Okay, you should not. You are just talking about some kind of a senseless advice or suggestions you are giving to the government of India. You must not be the absolute in your approach. Suppose that you can say this thing that you must exclude those people who have really benefited from the reservation. For example, SC ST category. For example, 1.20 lakh rupees, 1.80 lakh rupees is being earned by the salary monthly salary by those SC ST category people. So exclude them from further benefit of the reservation and include those people who have not reaped or entitled themselves to just corner the benefits of reservation. You can say this thing, but you are becoming very absolute. It means upcoming generation from that same category must be entitled in the futuristic life insurance plan of the government, but just because of your statement suggestions, they will not be able to just reap the benefit. Don't you agree with this thing?
Now, so I have a
I am
question now.
this, sir. I agree with that. But sir, I think that we does not provide the reservation. We provide
We
the
should
resources.
or should? We should
We
not.
should provide the resources.
Okay.
Good resources that caste. Because sir, if I am in general caste,
Yes.
then sir I take 19 marks and I got 19 marks in AIMS exam and another. And sir ST person got 50 marks. Then sir I think sir those person did never compare with me because sir I do hard work and sir I have a good knowledge of that person.
So the same thing is also applicable. So listen to me. As you are claiming this thing about your hard work, okay, that is great thing. There is a one prominent institute in India which is existing, I think, in southern India. That name is Dr. Homi Jahangir Baba Institution of the Science and Technology. Okay, so in that sense, do you know hard workers are always welcome. They are not the SC/ST community who are getting the reservation. Don't you think so this thing? If you are claiming this thing that they cannot compete you in the academic session and all in academic commencements in the class and classroom programs, so it is okay because they are entitled for the reservation. So they will be entitled in the futuristic plan, the policies of the government in which they will be having the low standard job. So why are you worried about these things?
Mr. Lalit, I have a question to
I think, sir,
He
talked
is a
about
he.
the STS people are on
Yes.
low level jobs.
As per the academic orientation I'm talking about, okay? Academic orientation, not this kind of upliftment or affirmative policies, just talking about like IAS and IPS, okay? Then because in that sense, on I think previous week I just explained one specific concept to you, like consequential seniority. So this is there exactly
Sir, I
existing.
think, sir, I agree with your point. But sir, in the in medical field, sir, more than 50% seats are reserved. And sir, I think, sir, then upper class people got 89 marks, and the cutoff is 90 marks. And sir, ST card person got 50 marks, and sir, he passed the exam, but 89 marks does not pass the exam. That's why we can't compare both the pupils, because sir, the upper caste people has more knowledge, and I think more huge knowledge from that people who got 50 marks and got selection on the institute.
Sir,
I have
Mr. Anil, I have a question to you. So you didn't give the answer of my question.
You didn't ask me the question.
No, my question is that as according to you, what are your views of discrimination that is being happening only because of reservation on general caste people, and it is not valid according to you?
Okay, since the ages, if I have to talk about, so from ancient time period, as it has been claimed by Manusmriti, or like Manusmriti, that is a very specific text of the Hindu religion, which Dr. Ambedkar burned in front of so many public opinions. Okay, getting the point, because he just saw one kind of observable, obsolete things, or the one kind of a cliche, we can say this thing, which was not appropriate as per the modern generation. That's why Mr. Ambedkar got afflicted by that statement which was written in that Manusmriti book, textbook. And if you just talk about discrimination, so since in ancient time, if I just talk about, so discrimination was persisting between the two categories of the menial practices servers, okay, the person who are belonging to the SC/ST categories, the people from the highest Varna categories, okay, for example, we have the Vaishya, okay, and Kshatriya and Brahmins, okay, these are the Varna and stratification in the caste system itself. So the same thing is also applicable right now. Earlier we deprived them of their benefits, of their entitlements, of the rights and issues. Right now they are depriving us on their rights. But you know, there's a catch. Recently the government of India has introduced or added the EWS category reservation criteria to those people who are really deprived from the general category itself. So why not they reap the benefits of reservation in EWS category?
I would like to ask question to Mr. Prem.
Okay.
You said that in
And keep his statement also in mind, right? Later you can answer that. Yes.
You said that the child labor should be removed, but I would like to say that child labor is necessary sometimes. If there is an orphan child or a child whose family is very poor, so they will need to get extra income generation for this, and it is very useful in that case.
So his or her parents are also there. Why is he going to work?
I would like to ask the question from, what is the name? I forgot already. Vihan, do you know, whenever we just start any potential topic, so we have to just follow certain guidelines, okay, certain instructions or the adherence principles by which we can definitely speak on something. That's why our statement's validity will be there, okay, credibility will be there. So I would like to ask you one thing from you, as well stating or speaking in front of so many people that child labor must be abolished, okay, but as per the constitutional machinery or guarantee programs, child labor must persist. The people who are really depriving in their family, who are there's no one to earn the family any livelihood, so they are entitled to just do the work, but the condition is there, they must not do the work in the hazardous condition, like for example the factories, they do not have the protective measurements, for example helmets and the gloves, okay, if they are doing work in a very highest temperature. So I think for those people it is prohibited, but for not those children who are really having the need of like this kind of livelihood, sustenance, money or the remuneration itself, so it must not, because constitution never defined like favor this thing.
Yes, of firstly I
Yeah, wait.
मेरा पहले का sentence तो कंप्लीट
Chalo, here. Okay.
My question is that I would
Now
like to ask.
you can speak. Don't just wait for me. I mean, you can speak in the mid. Yes.
likely that you said that why should not the mother and father should do work in a poorly family, like mothers are not allowed to do work, like women are not allowed to do work because they think that women are the
Women's not women are.
women are the dignity of their family, pride of their family, so they do not want them to work. Instead of them they want their children to do work. So
instead of child labor, many things are there, like government schools are there, and sometimes orphanages are there, and if they have no limited money, so they can send their child to orphanage, okay? And in a week or in a month they can come to meet, and after in orphanage when he will be educated, then he will come in his family, and then
I want to ask one thing. From you, I want to ask Bihan. Do you know, as per the economic criteria, what should be the per capita income of the below poverty line people?
Now people are allowed to interrupt, right?
Okay, so I have a question to you, Mr.
You want to say something?
I have a question.
Lalit, I have a
No,
question.
firstly,
Let him answer of my question.
Please.
I asked a very potential
So,
question.
Mr. Van, do you know the condition of government schools?
Yeah.
Tell me.
And they are very poor. The teachers are they are selfish, and by giving attendance they are going out.
So how could you say that that the child of government school will be educated and he can get job?
I am not saying that he will be well educated, but he can basic
Brain,
things can be there.
I would like to ask one question because he's a toddler. Okay, so I think he must not having that capacity to answer. But I would like to ask from you. Okay, I would like to ask one question from you. What is the per capita income of right now of the BPL category people? Please tell me.
Anybody can interrupt now.
Per capita income, I think less than 2,000 because 2.50 is the per capita income of individual legal workers. Okay, please let me finish. After that, you can definitely proceed in your statements. And he's saying this thing that child should not go to the industries where they really earn money for their livelihood. So in that case, as per the constitutional guarantee program, constitution allows them to earn, but condition is that they must not do work in the hazardous condition. Or rather, if there is no hazardous condition, they are completely or fully allowed to just do the work to just sustain their life. So in that case, don't you agree if the constitution or the government entities are getting agreed? Let me
My
answer.
opinion, constitution is agree, but in my opinion, government should increase the vacancy like that. So there are so many schemes like Navodaya schools and Sainik schools, like such type of schools. Government should also increase the vacancy for especially those are.
But here is there is a catch, or there is a one custody of R, because we are highly focused on that sustenance of that family in which the child is going to work in the industry. Let's talk about the education criteria. Education is the secondary source. First of all, he wants to feed his stomach. So after that, he will think twice or secondary something.
It is the responsibility of family, but government has already implemented one rule that the person who is below
You have
20,
to snatch
he
your
will
chance
go
now.
He will go to work. So there will be a claim in their family.
I agree with your point that constitution allows, okay. But what is the need to remove FDI because it is also useful?
These statements, when I articulated that statement from my side, I said government of India is highly concerned in the relative manner, not in an absolute one, that it must remove the FDI. I am saying that it must intervene in that sector in which it is really getting benefit. It must not entertain that kind of a company in which really highly getting tax returns.
I have a question to you. As you were saying that the discrimination that the
Where
people
the discrimination?
that discrimination that the people who belongs to lower caste they felt now we are going to feel that discrimination. Okay, so the thing that they
I wanted to say something more than, but you stopped me in between.
no, so according to you now, so it doesn't mean that now we will retaliate. No, they
People are retaliating. That's why WS category has been added
no,
on.
so suppose
People are retaliating.
Suppose if lower caste people
Because in India, reservation starts from
let me
the
complete.
rail tracks, railway
Let
tracks.
me complete.
Okay.
Suppose if lower caste people face discrimination, then according to it means they will retaliate from general caste people.
Sorry.
If lower caste people face discrimination, then will they retaliate? So that is why I am saying that
I'm
there
not
is
saying
no
this
need
thing.
of
I'm not saying this thing.
retaliation.
It is the scholar's view. If they have just gone through the highest discrimination or highest standard of the like what should I say apathy or the what should I say
Acrimony, apathy.
Apathy from the general categories, antipathy from the general categories in the since like in ancient period. So they will definitely, they are not perpetuating government. You can say this thing, government as an entity is perpetuating or intervening in the reservation criteria. If you talk about any general category people is having the dare to just slap the SC/ST category people, because now no, because constitution will stand in front of that particular person. He will
Anybody
definitely
can.
use his power.
I have a
let me answer this question. Tell me a line in which there is no benefit of FDI. There is no benefit.
Arey Baba, I would like to make you understand with Vihan. When I said this thing, government of India is intervening or becoming the stakeholders in those companies who are willingly ready to tax, like to submit or to invest their taxes to the Indian government, by which the consolidated fund of India will be highly rich. Okay, if we are our consolidated fund of India is really highly rich by the investment of those companies who have really established their business in terms of getting the benefits. So in that section, government of India is not intervening them. Okay, so that's why we are having the one kind of a specific benefit of FDI. For example, day before yesterday, I wanted to say this statement previously, but you interrupted me. That's why I could not speak on this statement. I think Mr. Arjun was showing me the newspaper, the Indian Express, in which the domestic transaction of India has increased 22.67%. Okay, so it means if domestic transaction is being increased, so it means what do you think? FDI is there. Okay, the people from the Indian diaspora are like doing the work in Canada and all. So brain drain concept is also being celebrated or entertained by the government of India. Don't you think so? If the transaction is coming from the as a remittances in the Indian domestic territory, so the people for those that transaction is coming, that money is coming to just reap the benefits. So whenever they are just withdrawing that money from the Indian account, don't you think so that government of India will definitely add some kind of additional taxes on them, by which Indian GDP can be grown in a highest capacity? That's what I want to say. Please try to understand the legacy.
Okay, so
Sorry,
Mr.
try to
Rana,
understand the hidden facts.
Mr. Rana, I have a question to you. So as you are saying that, so why do you abhor like child labor? I could not understand the main reason. Why do you abhor it? Can you please explain this again? Why do you abhor
You are
it?
sitting here and you are just giving a presentation, okay? And suddenly a scene changes and you are in a, we can say that you are in a dhaba and you are just serving the food. So how will you feel?
Okay.
And even in the sunlight, too much of heat is there and you are just
Anybody
serving
can
the food.
oppose.
Then what about earning money? Then how can a child earn money?
Okay, who will take the responsibility? Will you take the responsibility of the child's family in which there is a no sustenance guarantee?
Yes.
Will you take the guarantee?
How will he be able
Individually,
to?
will you take the
How
guarantee?
will the child be
Okay,
able to sustain his or her life?
I will show you the children who are really interested in education,
Yes.
but due to their family condition, because there is no sanitary consequences in their family are existing,
Yes.
that's why they are going in the industrial area to work out. If you take the responsibility owners to just feed them for the long time period by which they can educate themselves, then I agree with your point. Otherwise, I do not agree with your point.
But apart from child labor, there is also a way, means they can just express
Alternative
their-
options.
No,
बोलने दो ना.
they can just express their talent, like they can go outside and suppose someone is good in singing, okay, then he can just sing and people will
So
give
they
him
do
the
not
money
agree.
like
Yeah,
this.
But
This is
they-
also child labor.
You know, these things are exceptional, and we should not discuss about the exception, because exception nowhere written or as a nowhere written
But
or
maybe-
declared as a
but
mandate.
maybe
But I
now
have a
that
Someone is doing child
Listen,
labor,
listen, please listen.
and sometimes there someone is doing child labor, they do not have that much of money or that much of resources to express their talent to everyone. So this
But
statement
many children
cannot
find
be.
this child labor.
So I have a question.
That's what I want to say, na?
Mr.
Because of
Rana,
their sustenance,
Mr. Rana, I
because
have a
there's
That's
question.
why
violence.
they are doing
Mr.
this.
Vihan, I have a question to you. God forbid, suppose your parents are no more, God forbid, okay? And now you are going to express your talent. Suppose you are good in English, okay? And now you are giving presentation in front of everyone. So it is also child labor. Child labor means that
It is not child labor.
No,
It is not. It is.
it is
He is
not child
showing
labor.
his talent. It is
no,
not-
but so what the child is doing? If a child is doing work below
It
the
is-
age of 14, then it is known as
You know,
child labor.
I would like to incorporate my practical example.
Yes.
Once I went to cyber cafe, okay, just to fill my form of any scholarship, okay, I do not remember. So do you know what happened? I went with my brother. So there were the two toddlers, okay, who were working there in cyber cafe. But after some time, a few minutes, they sat on the chair, okay, on a revolving chair. So I was saying to my brother, oh my God, how deplorable they are. Okay, they want to study, but just because of their family condition, they are not like allowed to study. But you know, I'm just covering your statement because you told na majority of the student, like children are not interested in studies. Okay, they are just additionally interested in so many vulgar activities. So do you know, after 5 minutes when my number came to that particular individual who was the owner of cyber cafe, so I went to him. So do you know, I peeped through the window. Do you know what did I see? I saw that those people were really watching the vulgar movies. So in that case, I can say this thing that I must not be very I must not have the compassion for those children who are really not interested in studies. I must have the compassion for those sections in the society who are really interested in studies but deprived due to their family conditions. Then in that case, government is also supporting them. During the primary schools, if this person favor that government of India must provide the resources in primary schools of I think in my eastern UP in Banaras side area or Allahabad side area, I have seen so many ample amount of the primary schools in which the books are distributed, nutrition value food also is being distributed. So where the resources are being not distributed, first of all, this question must be definitely ratified from my side.
I want to answer the question. Okay, some children are also there who don't want to study, who doesn't want to study. Okay,
Who don't want
who
to?
don't want to study. But we can also count them as exceptions. Okay, because most of the children are there who want.
If exception exists in the majority, then how can you claim this thing that is the exception?
No,
Don't you think
but
so?
how can you fit it?
Huh?
How can you fit it? Most of the children are there who don't want to study, and that's why they are doing child labor.
It has been okay survey. Don't you know about the ASR report, annual survey of the educational report? It is the ASR report. It is the indexes study, okay, which provided or which just through like sir फेंकना मुंह पर मारकर
Which they threw you to their face.
which threw the report to the government face. Do you know it was conducted by the ASR individuals to the primary schools or to the secondary higher secondary schools. You know, anyways, they just went to the children in class 5th standard to 5th standard. They asked to multiply and divide and subtraction addition. Okay, they were unable to just do the factorization even. So don't you think so? It is the plight of Indian government that despite providing the huge resources to these people, teachers are not interested to inculcate the educational value to those people. How can they utilize that?
Wait.
So that's the fault of education.
Yeah,
That's what
he
I
will
want to
answer.
say.
He will answer.
You
yes.
must improve. You must focus on that.
Yes.
Sir, I think, sir, if any child is work outside, then, sir, I think he doesn't earn more money.
Okay.
And, sir, and I think, sir, if any child is interested in study, then, sir, government should be, provide a good schools and, sir, free food. या क्या कहते हैं, free खाना देना.
Midday meal.
Midday meal
is given to them.
and, sir, provide good environment there,
Yes.
sir. He educated and then after he support 5 and 10 years after
Yes.
he support his family. But sir, if he working in the childhood, then he working at the lifetime like a beggar.
I agree. I agree with that. I agree with
And, sir,
that.
and, sir,
If a child will do child level, then there is like ratios that the child can get success in his
Okay.
whole life, and there are so
Maybe
many.
it depends on the-
why
There
don't
are so
people
many
understand
children,
this
even
thing?
they have completed their whole schooling.
Sir,
They
maybe-
have completed graduation, and still they
Okay.
are not getting employed.
Maybe-
Question
maybe,
is
sir,
on them
maybe,
now.
Sir, it is depend on the situation. Suppose that a person, a child who is going to working on the computer, so definitely it is not come in the child level. Maybe it is also improving. He is also improving his skills, so that in future he can also take over like big business or big company.
For the menial
He can-
practices, I told this thing. For the menial practices, not operating the computers and laptops. Don't you understand this thing? I talked about the menial practices. Don't you know what is the meaning of menial practices? It means you are from the Shudra community. It means you are serving and grooming and mopping there. Okay, it is known as menial practices. So the people who I found there, they were not operating the computers and laptops there. Okay, they were not just highly innovated or just improving their skills. Okay, they were just doing grooming and mopping there. Okay, that's why I want to say, if they are involved in the menial practices, then we cannot definitely improve their status in the society.
Even at
Sir, I think, sir, child working because his family.
I added already.
Very weak. And sir, I think, sir, government should provide the free medicine facility to his family. And sir, I think increase government providing food nowadays in ration. Then I think increase the amount of ration that help us.
Brother, it has reduced right now. 1 kg wheat for each and every individual family of a single.
But if government increase that, sir, it help those family who does not good condition.
Then you should give it to the government of India, like Council Minister of Mr. Modi,
Yes.
that you should increase the grocery stocks.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Poor
You have to
families.
say
as Mr. Prem, you were saying
Yes.
that because of child labor, a child can make his own career. Okay, and you are opposing child labor. That is what I am saying, that if a child can make his or her career in child labor, then what is the need of removing child labor from India?
So now I have a question from you.
Firstly,
Firstly,
answer of my question.
Firstly, listen to me. Like we go to a highway or like area, so many children are there which are just begging. Okay, instead of that, if we just go to any shop, okay, we just suppose that there is any child whose parents are died. So apart from doing child labor, he can go to any orphanage or he can just do any work. Means we can say alternatively, why
Which
we,
kind of work?
like
Any kind of work which is fulfilling the
but
sustenance
nowadays,
demand.
like nowadays, most of the children are there which are just focusing on the child labor and whole day they are going outside from their home. So I'm just saying that child labor can be there, but it should not be in a higher way.
There's a catch. Reluctance and willingness must is coming forward here. Okay, you talked about that the people must have the alternative option, that they must enroll themselves and incorporate themselves to the orphanage areas. Okay, agree with you. But what about what do you think about the syndicate crimes which are taking place? Syndicate crimes means that prem is there, who's the owner of yours, and he will definitely ampute you. Okay, ampute you and induce the pressure over your shoulder. Amputate you and induce the pressure over your shoulder to beg in the society in a metropolis area. So it means you are involved in the syndicate crimes. So for the syndicate criminals, there is a really highest laws or policies are existing, and people are really behind the bars.
I'm not talking about that those crimes. I'm talking about the crimes which are happening in the society. Like suppose any child is there, okay, and his or her parents are died. So after that, he can just do the work alternatively. Firstly, at day he will go to school, and after that he will work in a shop for 2 to 3 hours. But in some condition, it has been feel like the child is not going to school and he is working whole day.
So don't you think it depends on the discretion?
Do you think that he will be able to maintain his life or maintain his resourcefulness?
How can he maintain his life?
And
I have a question, sir.
Do you think so?
But orphanages are also there. Okay,
No, orphanages are. Do you know where is orphanage in Mathura?
we can ask.
No, there is,
In Sadar, I think.
Okay, Mr. Van,
condition is also-
I have a
The condition
question
is
to
also
you.
not that good.
Okay,
You know, whenever you just lose the custody of your own parents, there's a no person who's highly responsible about your custody. You know, in orphanage areas, there are so many like social, like anti-social elements who can misuse you, okay, as an assets or resource. Like for example, they can involve you in any kind of illegal crime or activities which is not sanctioned by the government of India itself. So in that case, you are one kind of a potential seed for them. Okay, in future you can just blossom in a
We have enough knowledge, so we will not be involved in that. It depends on the knowledge.
Yeah.
Okay, no.
Don't you think so? The person who is unable to just sustain his life, and who's unable to feed his stomach, and completely toddler, and his custody of the parents is completely
Okay,
lost.
Mr.
Do you think so?
Van-
He must be educated
Okay,
by himself.
Mr.
No,
Van,
Wait.
Mr. Van, I have a question to you. There are so many children, and they even know that they are not that much of capable that they can make their career. There are so many children, and they know that they are not that much of capable. That kind of they don't have that much of credibility that they can earn a single money because of school. So for them, child labor is very beneficial.
How can you say that they cannot earn? Like in the
Suppose somebody is very weak.
Listen to me. Because in early age, every child feels that education is not for me. But education is very important. Suppose without education, many people are there even who are not getting married. We have to just show the we can say fake result.
And because of education, there are so many people still they are dying for job, and they have completed their education
Okay.
even.
Do you know the status of Navodaya Vidyalayas? Do you know the status of Navodaya Vidyalayas? Just leave the polls apart, these primary schools, because the condition is very very pathetic. I agree with all. Okay, but what about Navodaya Vidyalayas? Don't you think so?
People should
For
raise
the
their
central education, central institution of like
If people
KVS.
have something to say, should raise their hand so that I can
Like
get an
KVS,
idea.
KVS
right?
school status, don't you know?
No, I don't.
You don't know. And do you know the status of the Arvind Kejriwal's school of Delhi itself in UTs in Delhi? Don't you know?
What is the
The-
condition?
The condition is really very awesome and beautiful. Do you know the people are the
Of
students
Kejriwal
of
school, you said?
Kejriwal schools, and just talk about Navodaya Vidyalayas. Navodaya Vidyalayas are open for those kind of categories of students who are not able to just complete their education. That's why government is coming and fulfilling their demand on the scholarship basis. For example, if I just talk about, and I think in Mathura's territory there is one specific Navodaya Vidyalaya, I think residing in Kama, okay, nearby Kosi itself.
Yes,
So do you yes, Kosi. So do you know it is entitled Navodaya, don't you know?
No.
Navodaya Vidyalaya is the additional help from the government of India by the respective state government or central government to assist those students who are really vulnerable, who are really deplorable.
What is the difference between government school and now?
Yes,
Not very
Navodaya.
vulnerable,
Because in government schools, for example, primary schools, do you know there is a lethargy, there is a people who are drowsy always, they feel very drowsy when they do not want to teach the students, so there is a no strict vigilance, okay. But in Navodaya Vidyalayas, all consecutively there is a huge vigilance over those administration of Navodaya Vidyalayas, because they have to submit the international or national reports annually, that how many students are enrolled from your school criteria, from your school premises to those kind of different
What's the
opportunities.
condition of that school?
Those schools are very very good. I have met so many officers who have completed their studies from Navodaya Vidyalaya itself.
And that is totally
And you know,
free.
if you want to take admission there, na, dear, you are admitted in a very private school, okay, in which your parents are investing huge amount, but you will be unable to qualify the 5th standard examination there itself if you really want to enroll yourself,
Now,
because
Vidyalaya-
academics is not
Let
being
him
compromised.
also speak.
So that school is free.
Yes,
Now
it is
answer
free.
the
It is
question.
free.
Okay, now listen to me.
Totally
Okay, now,
agree on it.
okay, now listen to me.
I think
less amount you have to pay.
less amount, na,
Yeah.
like
But
now-
not
okay,
not
now-
the person,
one
not the
third.
person who belongs to vulnerable category, but for every student can apply for the number.
So the ratio will be in
Okay,
half
okay,
in one
now-
third or 1/2.
Mr. Anil, now listen to me. Now listen to me, okay?
Please.
But please listen to me. In nowadays, all children don't know about Navovidyalaya schools, okay? That's why you can see many children dhabas and hotels, they are working as a chef or they are working as a waiter, okay? But Navovidyalaya is very useful. But many children are there who don't know about that, so how can we...
There is an awareness campaign which is going conducted by the government of India. So there are so many programs by which so many people are not aware. So government is also taking onus to aware the people. So you cannot say this is thing that there are so many children. I always agree with this statement. There are might be the certain categories of the students who are
Now,
not ready.
Jasmine can speak against all the people. Yes, you can speak against all the people. Yes,
Separate point.
yes, or your own point as well that you want to say now. Yes,
Firstly, I would like to ask Mr.
listen.
that you said that reservation should not be given to those who have taken the reservation or the ones who have taken the advantage but not to their upcoming generation. So I would like to ask you that don't you think that women reservation help in the upliftment of women and we can't cancel it to their upcoming generation?
Yes. Women reservation
Sir,
in the urban local bodies, from the Panchayati Raj institution in the parliament itself.
I don't. I is not focus on the women reservation. I focus on caste reservation.
So reservation is a specific or integrated term. If you remove the reservation for the SC/ST category people, so they claim themselves as a vulnerable section. Okay,
What
the people
happens
from the
in-
general category don't you think
what
so? What do
happens
they
in
claim?
women
We are the
reservation?
modern Dalits.
It
The
was-
general category people claim themselves that we are modern Dalits.
In earlier time,
What
it
is
was
it?
also seen
Sir, I
that
think
people
so.
are also divided in the four
So,
parts.
what do you
One
want
was-
to know?
Sir, I want to know from him what is women reservation, what happens in it.
Yes.
When
Should I
is-
explain?
Yes, he will.
Anybody can
Yes.
explain.
Women reservation is that reservation category in which in the legislative assemblies of the respective states it is given. Legislative assembly where the laws are being implemented or discussed on the portfolios. Okay, in the portfolios or in the central government, it is parliament which is having the two respective house of commons, house of like Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Okay, council of states and the house of people. So in that houses, the reservation is given to those categories of the women who have not just adequately represented themselves from their constituency. For example, if we just talk about Smriti Irani, okay, Hema Malini. So they are the people who are getting the reservation, or there are some ladies from the like very least developed pockets of India, for example, from Nagaland, from Meghalaya, who are given the status of MPs or MLAs in the respective legislative assemblies or the central government. This is the reservation, and that is 33%.
Yes.
33%, which is horizontal and vertical.
Has it been applied now?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah, it was-
Because Mr. Rahul Gandhi became enabler. Okay, he did not oppose because certain bills पे आपको enabler बनना पड़ता है. Okay, you are not supposed to. If you are a position that you are not supposed to oppose every work of the government, because आपको भी तो like vote bank score करना है ना. So you must have to become enabler also.
Okay, so what is the term of horizontal and vertical?
Horizontal and vertical, it means if they belong to the SC/ST category, so they are having the existing criteria of reservation. They are already reaping. But if they come in those legislative assemblies or legislative houses, they will get additionally there.
But in earlier time, it was also seen that people are divided in four parts. One was Brahman, second one was Kshatriya, and third one Sudra and Vaishya.
Yes.
And it was also after some time it was also implemented in our constitution that people will divide it like SC, ST and OBC, that type of community.
There are
But
four
this
categories.
Yes, this tradition is also coming from our ancient, and people are also consider that the person who belongs to a Brahman category, they can also read the Vedas, but other category people cannot read the Vedas. Like SC, ST community people cannot.
So I claim this statement of mine while repeating the same thing.
It was
Okay,
considered
he has to say
So
something, please.
I would like to ask you. So do you want to contradict my points, or I can move forward?
You, which point?
Women reservation point.
Yes.
Okay, so what do you want to ask about?
Can we repeat your statement now?
I was saying that you earlier said that reservation should not be given to the ones who have taken or should I say that for better term, that reservation should not be given to the upcoming generation of the individual who have taken the advantages of reservation.
Yes.
So I would like to ask you that in women reservation, if women has taken an reservation advantage of reservation, so her upcoming generation should also be able to take this. So why don't
In upcoming generation, not male people entitled.
Can you please
women reservation
Can you
name
please-
implies female only?
can you please explain your question? I could not understand it
मैं हिंदी
properly.
में समझा
No, English.
No, in English.
He understands English.
Yes.
Okay.
But in other way you can make him understand, right?
So that in the women reservation, don't you think that it also helps in upliftment of women and you're against the reservation?
Yes.
So don't you think so that it is also necessary for women?
No, but if it is necessary for
Like you
women,
were
then
saying,
why is it not?
firstly let me complete. And for a caste, you said that SC and STs have gotten major boost in them, and they do not have that. They don't want. It is not necessary to give them it now.
Mr.
It is
Vijay,
only-
now
it
let
should
me
be around parents.
answer.
Please, let
Let
him
me
answer.
answer.
He forgot
First,
to
let me
answer.
complete. Now it should be given to based on financial condition. But in women, it cannot be applied.
No, according to me, firstly, if the normal reservation is for both the genders, so what is the need of women reservation? Firstly,
Because women are not allowed.
Because we are also
Do
going through
many
a lot
work
of
with
women in
men
our
can do.
society.
Look, women are used as a
It is
proxy.
always given to the deprived section.
Yes.
So women were deprived and SC, ST were deprived.
So according-
they were not allowed
so
to
according
go
to
out.
me, so although I am against normal reservation, and if I talk about this reservation, suppose it should be given not to the girls of that developed cities. It should be given to the girls who belongs to very like country, who belongs to a place countryside areas. Okay, so that is good.
Exactly.
Yes,
Yes, it is
so
happening.
you are
It is
saying
happening.
that in developed cities, so there are Muslim areas, so they should not be entitled to
No,
it.
first, I am not saying that there
You
are
have
no.
said that
Yes,
it should not
yeah,
be
it should
given to
not be
developed cities.
given. But firstly, suppose if the girl has come from a countryside, okay, and there is no development, and the girl is not that much of that knowledgeable, okay, and according to everyone, like everybody is patriotic there, okay. So the girl should get reservation. It is for the benefit of that girl, okay. But if the girl is well developed and even the girl is doing work, the girl can earn very well, then according to me that reservation should not be given.
500 should I 543 पे 33% what will be the amount in a statistic wise, like less than I think like more than 20 or 23 girls or the
I am
women will be in
opposing
parliament.
the-
So it is the statistic. Don't you think so? Even though giving the highest reservation to those category of women, 33% reservation on 543 numbering MPs, okay, in the respective central government of India, don't you think so that adequate representation is not met up to the mark, up to the standard?
It is increasing.
It is increasing. Obviously, efforts are being made or tried. We can say.
No, anybody can interrupt anybody. I allow. I mean, no need to wait for my any
Okay,
intervention.
I quickly listen to my question.
Yes.
How can you say that reservation is not important?
Because according to me, there are so many people, they are misusing it, okay.
So
So
many
for the
people-
misused people, the people who are misusing reservation, you should exclude them. For example, SC/ST category people who are on the good position or the highest designation, you must exclude them. But why you are completely removing the reservation from the system itself?
Yeah.
Don't you think so? Don't you think
Some
the
people
welfare
are
of
there
those
who
people who are
want-
really deprived?
Yeah.
Don't you think so? Are you not compassionate enough?
So how can I get to know that are they really
No, it is
deprived
not
or
your duty, dear. It is not your duty, dear, to just recognize those people to give the reservation. It is the government duty.
Because
So how can the government get to know about it?
Obviously, if I just talk about in northeastern states, government has recognized. They ask the tribal societies people that come and sit in the examination and just write your name. Will you provide the reservation? Government is recognizing.
No, if it will be like this, then the
Government
meaning
is-
of reservation will be changed because the meaning of
Government is
reservation
recognizing.
because the reservation is given on the base casteism,
Government-
not on the basis of financial
No,
status.
how can you say here? Recently, 2019 government introduced the EWS category on the basis of the financial criteria. How can you define this term? Okay, if you belong to the general category people, if you're really deprived in terms of these social resources to just coordinate the benefits, you can claim to the government in the EWS category, and you know you will be getting or you will be entitled for the existing reservation also in EWS category. That is a very beauty. That is the beauty of the reservation.
So as he was saying that if they are not that much of strong in financial condition, so then as his point was there that we can provide them book
Don't wait, just speak.
what they need to provide them reservation on the basis of financial condition, because according to me the basic meaning of reservation that I know is that it is given on the basis of casteism. Then because the
No, how are you?
It is not
How
only
you are?
caste.
I think you are mistaken in that thing. Casteism, do you know casteism does not mean this thing that, do you know you have to just show the certificates to the government of India that your income, how's your family income is that, okay? Do you know it is just about the standard of the people who are really deprived or engrossed or ingrained in the deep rooted inequalities in the
suppose if
society.
there is scam in the income, suppose there so many people are there, they have hidden their black
Yeah, they
money.
recognized me, okay, when I just applied for the scholarship. Okay, my parents'
I
income
have a
was.
question. They can ask from their neighbors, their we can say their friends.
Then why will they tell this to their friends that I am going to hide this black money?
Oh, if any government job you will get in future, you know, recruitment hota hai whenever in government sector, if you are getting recruited, so do you know there is a one kind of a specific investigation which take place. They ask your surroundings, neighbors, okay, कि इसका चरित्र कैसा है, चाल चलन कैसा है, okay, और पूरा एक सर्टिफिकेशन इश्यू होता है. So don't you think so? गवर्नमेंट जब दे रही है तो आपको, जब गवर्नमेंट से आप लेने के तैयार हो, जब गवर्नमेंट इन्वेस्टिगेशन कर रही है, गवर्नमेंट आपको देगी तो don't you think so? Government will be highly vigilant.
The government will be highly vigilant. But what about the money? Suppose the black money is there. There are so many black money. Okay, the amount is too much. What about that money?
Unnecessary statements you are stating in front of so many people which do not have any kind of a senses.
Why?
Okay? Obviously, we all know about these kind of problems. We all know these. We should talk about practicality. Okay.
If they have too much of black money, then how can the financial
Arey, black money,
be-
Baba. Suppose it if your father is earning like 8 lakhs per month. Okay,
Yes.
8 lakhs per month. So it must be the duty of the government to just ask your parents and just investigate in your family that what is the resource, what is the source of earning of your parents. Okay, so while talking about black money, you will not consider your father's or parents' money black money, but government will consider it there is no legitimate resource or the source of earning itself. So it is the concern of the government. So please do not pass the statements which are do not have.
But if he wants to say, but if somebody has the black money, then how will government
सर
get
ब्लैक
to know
मनी
that?
कॉन्सेप्ट कैसे आ रहा है यहाँ पर? आप मुझे समझाओ ना, ब्लैक मनी कॉन्सेप्ट कैसे आ रहा है? ओके, वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट पोटेंशियल टॉपिक्स. आप अननेसेसरी टॉपिक्स को स्ट्रेच कर रहे हो.
Okay, हाँ वैसे obviously.
Unnecessary topic को स्ट्रेच करने का फायदा
I
नहीं
think
है.
because reservation is not given us.
So reservation is to
Actually, as a matter of
the economic criteria.
as a matter of EWS, as
Yes.
you spoke, as he
Ah.
spoke about that EWS, that is on the basis of economy, right?
Yes.
And that is just obviously, actually, it also had nothing to do with the reservation. It was actually given to those people to appease the upper caste people because somewhere or the other they were actually unhappy with the reservation, and they used to say it should be given on the economic basis. So that is why the government has, just to appease these people of upper caste, general caste, they had given that some percentage or 10% almost on the basis of economy, so that these people of like Baniya Brahman community, EWS, would become somehow satisfied that government has done something for us as well.
Okay, I have to give the answer. So according to me, this what was the name? That EW. So according
EWS.
to EWS, okay. So this scheme is very good according to me. But
Because you are getting benefit, that's why.
everybody is getting benefit.
No, you are from general category, that's why.
Even I, even you, everybody.
No,
is
I have a 27% reservation. Don't worry.
Okay, so the general caste people are also getting benefit, okay, and lower caste as well as lower caste people, okay. So this scheme is very good, okay. But if I talk about once again reservation, so according to me that is not good. But if suppose they add this scheme in reservation, then according to me reservation can be good. But in current when there is this scheme has to do nothing with reservation, so at current according to me reservation is not that much of good.
क्या?
Suppose this scheme is indifferent from reservation, okay, as you know. So
Which
that
scheme?
this EWS.
EWS is in the category of reservation.
Okay, so it is
Yes.
a
Yes.
It is a
If you talk about
But
the
the
appeasement of the
base-
general category people,
but
na,
the base is different.
okay.
The base is
If you talk
different.
if you talk about the appeasement of the general category people or the certain categories who are not having the economically sound background, okay. So don't you think so? In ST category, there is a 7.5%
No, but
reservation.
the base,
Okay.
the work is different. Okay, so according to me, it is easier.
Base, how the base is different, bro, dear. If you just talk, if you know the full information for the SC/ST category, there is a SC category is different. Okay, ST category 7.5% reservation is given to them. So don't you think so? If we include those SC category in the ST category itself, so in which they will get the 15% reservation. So it is also
Okay,
appeasement for them.
now we are coming to the conclusion,
Yes.
please. One by one. Mr. Arjun, please conclude all like everything what you heard and what now you wanna say about everything. You can speak.
I want to say that the biggest problem that should be removed is FDI,
Okay.
and for the reservation, it is providing the people financially. It is improving the financial condition of the people,
Okay.
and it will create a social equality in society.
And I want inclusive growth and developmental activities in India. That's why I always favor the reservation, because in reservation, each and every community or section of the society will be the stakeholder in the equal capacity to get the developmental activities. That's all.
I want to remove the dowry system because there is a certain issue which is happening in the our culture or like that. If we need the marry, so girls, boys family wants to the dowry system. So I would like to finish the dowry system.
Sir, I think, sir, women reservation will continue.
Should continue.
Should continue, but we should remove the reservation of lower caste, because, sir, we can provide the reservation of their economical condition. Because, sir, in the upper caste there have some people have no good economic condition, and sir, as well as a lower caste. Then we provide the reservation behalf of their economic condition.
Okay, so according to me, although they all are very awful, because I did not used to know about that EWS and Mr. Anil was telling me. But if I have to conclude in these 4 points, so I will say that reservation should be removed and secondary dowry system.
Okay.
If I would like to conclude it, so I would like to tell that dowry system should be removed, and secondly child labor, because in dowry system the women are objectified, they get abused, and they are not well treated because of it. And in the child labor, the childs are sometimes
Children
are sometimes abused and are physically harmed, and they are also have very much mental pressure. And in reservation, I would like to say that reservation should not be removed; it should be modified. And for FDI, I would like to say that FDI should also not be removed, and it should be slightly modified, because it also help in development of our country. It also generate employment. It also gives us it also maintain our relationships with other countries, and it gives us foreign currencies
Yes. Which is very much mandatory for the country, na? Foreign currency.
for
Yes.
the development, and these all are mandatory for our
Yes.
development.
Yes.
According to me, first of all, dowry system should be removed, because by this the women's faces the problems. So first of all, dowry system should be removed.
Sir, according to me, dowry system should be removed, and it is very bad. And if I talk about reservation, so it can be slightly modified, because some people are there who take the advantage. So we can say like it should be given on the basis of financial condition for both the castes, SC, ST, OBC, and general. And if I talk about FDI, so it is good, because it creates, as you said, that it creates a relation with foreign countries, but it should be reduced in quantity, because nowadays most of the people are dependent on FDI. And if I talk about child labor, so it is very bad, and it is abominable. Because of child labor, many things are there, like physical abusing, and sometimes some tourists come and they also bully the child, because he is very small and he is doing work and he has no parents. So instead of child labor, he can go to orphanage, or he can go to the Navvidyalaya.
Your speech is so emotional, it makes me cry.
Okay, so sir, I would like to remove the child labor from our India, because other countries people come here and they visit, they also see that people,
Yes.
children are working. It will be also there will be a question mark for other countries. They will also check our conditions. And sir, if I tell about the FDI, so FDI should not be removed now from India, because the company will come and people will also adopt new technologies, and it will also very beneficial to our GDP.
So I would like to conclude that reservation should be removed from India, because everybody should have equal rights, and the dowry system is also removed from India.
Should be removed.
Should be removed.
Okay. So give a huge.
I said add one thing.
Okay, please.
In India, sir, they are the limited Navodaya Vidyalaya, sir. And sir, I think, sir, government should focus on the primary schools also, because, sir, I think, sir, government timely take feedbacks from there, from the locals. That's why, sir, all the students grow up and educate and literate in the field of education.
That's what you wanna say, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now give a huge round of applause to yourself. Not for anybody.